Hello, Mimi. How are you?
So good. And it's so good to see you.
You too. Mutoni914, thank you for joining. Sky, thank you for joining. I'm just sending this to as many groups as I can. Make sure I get more people to join this amazing convo. How's your day going so far?
So good. Oh, I see Jen. Hey. Yeah, guys, I have
Jen,
to say.
Thank you.
I was just jamming to this song and I am just like feeling so, you know, when a song just is like, and you're like, woo, like that's definitely what I was just feeling, and now I'm coming on to you guys here. So
there's that saying, like, when that music hits, you don't feel no pain. I see so many people's in here. Hello, Hannah. Thank you for joining. Haley, Nisi, Reese, V, Roro. Ancient City Style. So many people. Thank you so much for joining us. Haven Perry. Yes.
I see Vernell here too. I recognize them from my page too. Hey, girl.
Jav67. Thank you for joining. This is awesome. So, for those of you who don't know, this is my sister, and not just like, hey, so sister, you know, we're friends. No, this is my blood sister, Tamina. She's my younger sister, and she's a pretty awesome individual. So, Tamina, I don't know if you are comfortable enough to tell us, you know, what it is you do and some of the amazing things that you've done in your life.
Yes.
Brag on yourself.
Yeah, right? Like, it's true. Isn't that crazy how sometimes we need like permission to like brag on ourselves? You know, because we feel like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be boosted or overdoing it for sharing the things that I've done and accomplished. So I'm giving myself full permission right now, okay? So I've been dancing professionally for 21 years, maybe 22. I just turned 32 yesterday, so let's call it 22 years I've been dancing professionally. And my career has taken me everywhere around the world. I've toured with Lady Gaga for about 6-7 years. I've toured with her. I was on So You Think You Can Dance Canada. I was on lots of movies. I've, you know, danced in many Disney movies, hence the face that stays young. And, you know, throughout my journey of like dancing in all these stages, it just became clear to me that like, yes, my love is to be on the stage, but the most important stage is the one that we live on every single day. You know, it's the pavement that we walk on, the rooms that we go into. So my focus really shifted to like, okay, how can we focus on the person showing up on the stage? You know, how are we showing up in our relationships? How are we showing up at work? And then how are we feeling about it at the end of the day when we get home? You know, do we feel fulfilled? Is our life serving us, our highest self? Are we nourishing ourselves with the way that we're spending our time? So from there, my focus really shifted to like, oh my gosh, I'm here to serve my sisters, you know, to help them feel good about themselves on and off the stage, you know, in and out of the workplace, in your relationships, but most importantly, in your relationship to yourself. So I'm a self-expression coach. That is what I do.
Amazing. So amazing. And like, this is not your first round. Like, you've opened up businesses, like, for example, the Girls Club, which was kind of can you explain to us exactly what the Girls Club was?
Yes. So my first, I guess I would call official business, but it came from the heart, was called the Girls Club. And this was an academy where it started because I went into a restaurant and I saw they had this magnificent bar, and I was like, that bar needs to be a stage. And then I was like, okay, if I have dancers come in here, who's gonna do it? And I was like, I guess I need to start an academy to train women who are confident enough to stand on this stage. So then it became this place of where like I had an academy where I trained women to be able to perform in any environment, to be able to feel fearless and confident in who they were, to not only execute the moves well, of course, right? Because it was a dance academy, but beyond that, they became able to overcome their own self-limitations and to actually feel like they were their own version of Beyonce, but not just for Beyonce's sake, but like to be that person who could stand and look someone in the face and say like, this is me, this is my performance, and you're invited. You could be here with me. I could stare you in the eye and not be afraid and not look away and be completely in love with who they were, who they are, but also be inviting so that the person watching them could also feel part of the experience. Because that's the hard part, right? It's like we can perform all day, and sometimes when we perform, we're like, oh, I gotta put on this persona and I gotta like be this person so that they don't see the real me underneath, so I can kind of have this like protective block of like, you see me, but you don't, right? I can pretend to be this powerful person, but when I put my purse down and my shoes out, take my shoes off and take off my hair weave, you know, then I can be me. But it's like, no, you're coming in with your natural hair, you're coming in with your no high heels, you're coming in without the costume and saying, I'm still worthy, I'm still beautiful, and you can witness me, and I can express here with you fully. So that's what the Girls Club really became about, was a place for these performers to find themselves as fully expressed, fearless women, powerful women in the world. And yeah, they've gone on to do so many amazing things. I just spoke to some of them yesterday in our birthday call, and these women have like gone on to do so much with their lives. And like the main thing is that like they are going after the things that they love most and what they feel most called to do with their lives. So.
And I think that, like just from, you know, having seen like what the Girls Club had to offer and the teachings that you offered them, it was, I guess, a healing of sorts. And as a result of that healing and doing the work and getting uncomfortable, they were able to show up as better performers. So it wasn't just like, oh, become a better performer. No, it was more focused on the healing and the exercises. That was the emphasis. I just thought it was so amazing.
I love how you're pointing that out, because yeah, it wasn't about the stage. It was the healing that they went through to be able to be on that stage fully. Mm-hmm. And that's the point. That's exactly it. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So amazing. So, okay, so we're talking about healing your way to wealth. So how do we, I mean, I guess everyone defines wealth differently, and like in terms of different, like in different realms. So you have like financial wealth, physical wealth, spiritual wealth, you know, however you want to define it. So what do I even want to ask? I'm feeling stuck. There's so many things that I want to ask you.
Yes, take your time. We have time and space.
Why do you feel healing is so important?
Yeah, okay, so you're right. There's so many layers here. And I feel like I want to circle back to what you I think you're trying to say. Tell me if this is what you're trying to say. Mm-hmm. Like, what does wealth even mean?
Yes.
Like, what is the meaning of wealth? Because you touched on it. Like, it's true. Wealth can mean so many things. Like, there's spiritual, emotional, physical, so many different types of wealth. So what I feel wealth is your experience of life, right? Does your life feel rich? Are you fulfilled by your life? Because you can have someone that has tons of money and feels horrible about their life, about themselves, where they're at, and they're still reaching for everything. And you can have someone who has very little in material possessions, but yet feels so fulfilled, so taken care of, so at peace, right? Which one of these people are wealthy, right? Who's to say? Which one do you even want to be? So my definition of wealth is how fulfilled you are in your life. Have you provided for? Are you satisfied? Are you nourished by your experience of living? And to me, that is the true definition of wealth. And there are many facets to this, right? And not saying it doesn't mean material. And I'm also not saying it doesn't mean spiritual, because we do need like a balance of both. And actually my partner brought a quote the other day to us that I thought was really interesting. Like, he was looking at Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And according to Rich Dad, he says that wealth is the measurement of time, or it's a measurement of the quality of life and your state of living and how long you can maintain that. So what I found is that if we put our focus on the things that we can maintain, what that's in our power to maintain, right? Like how you're feeling, your stress levels, your relationships, your self-care, the way you look at yourself, the way you feel about yourself, that can actually prolong the amount of time that you can sustain a life that is fulfilling. But if your wealth is based upon how much money you're pulling in every day, then that's volatile, right? That changes, that's inconsistent. So my definition of wealth is like, how can we create a wealthy state of being within ourselves, so that no matter what happens around you, you can still feel fulfilled, you can still feel happy, you can still be provided for, because you're providing for yourself. So that is,
wow.
That's my definition of wealth.
I think that's the best definition I've ever heard, to be honest. Wow. And it's so true. Like, everything, it starts within you, and like, you're just kind of reacting to what's happening on the outside. But if you're not grounded or anchored on the inside,
you're going to be always at the mercy of everything that's happening in our world. And I'm sure you guys can relate, is that our world right now is crazy. Like, and not just crazy, but it's changing, right? So if we are always dependent upon the stability of the spaces outside of us, then we're never going to feel that grounded energy, or that sense of safety, or that sense of like security that a lot of people try to put. They try to put their security in the hands of everything else except for themselves.
Mm-hmm. So good. Okay. So we touched on wealth. So healing. What is healing, and why is it important?
Yes. So it's interesting because we kind of touched upon like that, being able to shift our perspective, like our sense of security and well-being from the outside kind of showing us how to be. Well, I find that healing is we're shifting that perspective from the outside, telling us how we're doing inside, and like taking that back and saying that, no, like, I can rewrite the way that I encounter the world. Like, I have agency. I am a sovereign being, and I can choose not to suffer because the world's changing. I can choose to actually recognize like where my life isn't actually serving me, isn't actually filling me up. And the healing is then rewriting that story, like looking at it, being like, okay, I see you here, and I see this belief, I see this blockage, I see this part of myself that's maybe afraid, or I see this part of myself that feels unsafe. And we begin to hold ourselves through the process of, I like to look at it as like putting those pieces back together again. You know, like maybe life has us believe that we're broken for some reason or another. And that healing is taking those pieces back and saying, no, I'm whole. Like, no, I can choose something different than the cards that maybe have been dealt for me. I can choose something different than maybe my family experienced, my ancestors have experienced, you know. So that's why healing, yes, we heal ourselves, but in that process of healing ourselves, we are so very much healing our lineage and for those who suffered before us. And perhaps their path, their journey made it so that we have the opportunity now to heal those elements that maybe they didn't have the opportunity to because they were healing their ancestors and their peoples from before. And I always say that healing is so important because then it creates a clear slate for us to create the foundation for the future. So we're not creating from pain. We create from pain, then we create more pain. Whew. So to not recreate pain, we have to find that peace, that balance, that holiness, right? Wholeness, holiness within ourselves. So taking those pieces, those fragmented pieces, putting them back together, saying, I'm whole, therefore I'm holy. And from this whole ground that I'm standing upon with both my feet, I can now pave a new path so that those that come after me can then walk that path with clarity and then create a better future so then the next generation can then feel whole, have their 2 feet on the ground and continue walking that path forward. And that is why healing is so important. And that is why that experience of wealth, right, is when you are healed, when you have your feet both on the ground and you say, I'm whole, I am provided for, I'm nourished, I'm worthy. And so it all kind of ties into each other. Yes, and it's generational wealth, exactly. And it builds. That generational wealth builds as each generation chooses that path of healing.
Wow. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Speechless. And it's like, if there's no healing, it can almost, because, okay, like, for example, children, we kind of like, we model what our parents are doing. So if they haven't healed their traumas, you just have this endless cycle of generation after generation that have not healed from whatever they've gone through. And you just have this block. It's like this cap. Because whatever you don't heal, it's a roadblock. You can't let any wealth in if you're not healing what ails you.
Yes. I love that part that you're saying about bringing in, right? Like wealth, it comes into you. It comes into your field, your body, your experience. And when those blocks are up, you're literally being like that, and like it literally can't even come into your field. Like you can't even recognize it. You can't even recognize the love when it shows up. You can't recognize the support when it's at your door. You don't recognize the gold when it's on your lap. You can't even get there. So we must heal and we must open ourselves up to receive it.
And that's, wow, that could be a whole other discussion. Like, you know, like being guarded because of, you know, past negative experiences and not wanting to be open. Oh, that's a whole other discussion.
right? Not wanting to be
Yeah.
hurt again, not wanting to take the
Yes.
risk.
Yes.
Because like, oh no, if I open up, you're gonna just hurt me. And then it's a catch-22, because if you don't open up, you're also not gonna receive love. You're not gonna receive anything.
Exactly.
So yeah, you're protecting yourself from being hurt,
Mm.
and you're protecting yourself from being loved.
Loved. Exactly. I don't know if I have liberty to kind of touch on the thing that you and your amazing partner have done, the groundbreaking move that you both made. I don't know if I can speak on that, or if you want me to.
Yes.
Yeah. So you and your partner recently acquired 175 acres of land. Huge. This has broken a huge chain. It has set the groundwork for any generation after us. So it's like I'm speechless, basically. Like you're showing us that, like, honestly, sky is the limit. You're showing your nephew when your nephew stepped on that land, he felt so free. He was so happy. And just for him to carry that feeling, just for us to, be like, wow, like, it's possible. We're not thinking small anymore. Because guess what? We've seen Auntie Nini and Uncle Michael do this. We can do it too. It's within our reach. We touched it. We felt it. We smelt it. No one can tell us nothing on that land. Are you kidding me? Sorry? What? Who? What? No. Yeah, that was huge.
Wow. That's so special.
Yes.
I'm soaking in like that experience of that impact, right? Because sometimes we're walking our path and we don't realize how it ripples out, right? Like using our analogy of walking and having that foundation, and now that path is set, and then now look, Amari, my nephew, he now sees and can feel and experience, right? We talked about wealth as an experience, right? Wealth isn't an idea. It's something that you experience. So when you have that experience, you're like, wow, you can trust it. You can believe it. It's no longer a figment of your imagination. It's a lived experience. So that is the key. And thank you for sharing that reflection of like the ripple work and how that's, as you said, like as we're talking about like building generational wealth, like we're choosing something different. We're choosing a different path, right? Because like where we came from is not where we are today, right? Where our mom came from, where her mom's mom came from, and our mom's mom came from, So
Definitely.
I don't know if you asked me a question about the land, but this land experience to me has been the most expansive thing that I don't even want to say accomplished, that I'm living today. Because it took me not only seeing beyond what was in front of me, but it also took me trusting like where my body wanted to be. My body wants to be in nature. My spirit wants to be in nature. My feet want to be on the ground, and trusting that like this is where I'm being called. I don't know the ways in which it's going to happen, but I knew where I needed to be. And I just allowed everything else to fall into place, but yet all my decisions from here to there, which I think is almost like here to here, because it's coming back to myself, I let my heart let me know, is this the path? Is this leading me closer in alignment or further into disalignment or misalignment? And to be able to choose in that way becomes a practice of being able to connect with your body. Like, what is your body saying? Are you tensed up doing this thing that doesn't light you up at all? Or are you feeling like, this is like giving nourishment food to my soul? And you choose from there.
So, and you mentioned something about, you touched upon like in order to like, and to manifest something like something of this magnitude. Let's just use this example. It's not like when you have it in your mind. It's not. You're like, how is it going to get done? It's not in your. It's not here. You can't touch it. So the amount of like of work you must have had to have done to just be so confident that you know what, it's gonna happen. I don't know how or when, but it will happen. That must have taken a lot of like personal work and clearing blockages to get to that point where you could even manifest something of that magnitude.
Yeah. To be honest, the most, when people look at like, how did you manifest land? People think, oh, you must have like been thinking about the land and doing the things about the land. Actually, it was not that. I saw the land, then I looked at, then I closed my eyes and went inside myself and said, where do I feel like I'm not worthy of this land? Like, where am I not? It wasn't about the land anymore. It was about me. So I started healing everything that it didn't even necessarily in the forefront seem to be about the land. It was like, okay, look at where's our family blocks? Where's our money blocks? Where's our relational blocks? Like we literally, we didn't even start looking at land. We weren't even looking at the land. It became like months of like in the cave of looking at ourselves, me and my partner. So like that's the part that can like really catch people sometimes, because we think that like, oh, I want this land, and your eyeballs are just set on the land like this, and the land's like, okay, you're looking at me for what? You're not looking at all that
stuff. Is doing its own thing, like I'm concerned about you, like
right? They're looking at, don't you see all that other stuff that's blocking you from being here, and still you're blocked because you're not looking. Like that is the gotcha. It's because you think it's about the land, and it's not. It's not. You have to look at yourself. You have to look at yourself. And that's why it's about healing your way to wealth. You can't look at wealth and be like, yeah, I got that. No, you've got to look at yourself. You've got to heal your way to wealth.
Wow. Okay, so let's can we ask the viewers, what are some things that you want to heal? Type it in the comments, let us know. It doesn't have to be too personal, but you know, just something that you might want to heal, or some blockages that you feel you might have.
Yes, I'd love to hear that. And I'd also love to hear like, like what are some things you're trying to call in, and what are the blocks to that for you?
For me, or
for you if you want, or the viewers. You're like, for me? Like, sure. We have Renelle saying past traumas.
Past trauma.
She's healing.
Mommy says truth.
Renelle's healing from past traumas. So I'm curious, Renelle, how do you feel your past traumas are impacting or blocking your today or your tomorrow? How is your past trauma playing a role in your today and what you're calling in? Yes. Yeah, because that's, you know, connecting the dots is really key. I find that to be one of the most healing tools. Is like we look at what the block is and, okay, how is this playing out in what you're trying to experience in your life? And the language is important too. It's not just what you're trying to get in your life. You're not really trying to get it. You're trying to get the thing because you want it here. Like you actually want to experience it. That's what it's about. So Renelle's saying the past traumas are creating like a block in her relationships, being able to trust.
Relationships.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Right. I hear this one so much, and I've experienced this one too. It's like, all right, well, I'll open up to you when you open up to me first, right? We kind of think that we have to wait for our partners to show to show the thing that we are wanting to experience first before us actually taking that leap and saying that, okay, I'm going to open up. You know, I'm going to show you and reveal myself. And that's the thing that we're talking about, is that like, we cannot, what was that analogy we used earlier? Yes, we want to protect ourselves from being hurt, but really we protect ourselves from being loved instead. So it's like, if we want those relationships to thrive, we need to trust ourselves to trust our partners. And trust that like, this is the path. You can't do it wrong. And you'll learn from the experience. But if you don't open up, you'll never have an experience to learn from.
And a perfect example of that is like what you were just mentioning. One person doesn't want to open up, and neither does the other person. So it's just these two walls are here looking at each other in the face, like, okay, so it's not going anywhere. We're just both guarded. We're just both stone walls. No one's opening up anything. And then on the contrast of that, I will use the example of my son and my friend's stepdaughter. They were at a birthday party a couple years back. Their first time meeting, they clicked like this. I think there were like six at the day out of 6. They clicked. They were like talking, holding hands. The girl came, even like put Amari's coat on him to like help him get dressed. She was like walking with him arm in arm. And I said, you know, if we just be so open and like willing like that, like, you know, how far would we progress? It would be so amazing. Just the openness. There's no trauma. There's no bruises. They have no walls. It was just so beautiful to see the interaction like that. Yeah.
Because, you know, that's how we all are originally, right? Our original nature is to be loved, to be loving, to be trusting. But it's just experiences that we've had, it's kind of like adds up and being like, okay, I need to shield this, I need to shield this, I need to shield this. So the true act of like strength, right? We think strength is the amount of walls, the hardness, but it actually takes incredible strength to trust and to let those walls down and to say, even with my walls down, I'm protected, I'm powerful, I'm choosing life. And life will show up for me, life will serve me, life will nourish me, life will strengthen me. And I'm choosing to live it instead of to live separate from it, because that is the ultimate death. That's separation, that's pain. Right? Because when we're in these relationships where we're not trusting anyone, like, does that even feel good? Any point in even being there? No. I call it like relational stalemate. We're all just waiting for someone to be like, I love you first, or I do this first, and then everyone's waiting, and then we spend our entire life waiting. And this kind of ties into what Shay Baby said. So what they're working through is learning how to let go. And I can totally relate to this because I can say that I am stubborn. And it's hard to let go. It's like, you know, like someone does something, you're like, oh, I just want to react. I just want to like get that back. I just want to like hold that against that person and not, you know, open up or not be that loving person because they did that. They did this thing. And then I sit there and I'm like, wow, me holding on to this thing, like imagine holding on to this thing in the corner. Who is actually suffering? Me. I'm the one suffering. I'm the one holding on. I'm the one in the corner. That person could be going on with their life, receiving nourishment, doing their thing. And you're the one holding on in the corner still. And I don't think people realize that part. Like, listen, you're the one in the corner, right? Like, you holding on is you in the corner. So you're really not winning.
And it's like good or bad. The person who may have stabbed you, like just I'm just using it as an example, could be an emotional wound or whatever. They've moved on, like you just said. They're out there kicking up their heels. Da, 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 da. They did what they did, and they forgot about it. They're not coming back to say sorry. They're not coming back for any remorse. They've moved on. So the same way they've moved on, you know, it's easier said than done. But you need to like forgive yourself and give yourself that apology that they will never give you. You have to just give it to yourself and let it go, release it. Because there is a bitterness, there is a staleness, as you said.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you said, the two people just, or the person just sitting there waiting. It's not a state of happiness. Like let's just keep it a buck. It's misery. It's complete misery. Everyone's just like, I'm not gonna open up. Like you're not happy. You're not happy. When you're in a healthy, open, flourishing situation, you see a glow about both people in that situation because they're both pouring in with love. They're both receiving love and nourishment, and there is this glow.
Yes. Oh, I love this. And add to this is that process of being open isn't just this like, I'm gonna throw everything down and just be open. It's not sunshine like that. Being open takes continuous healing, continuous self-reflection, continuous processing, continuous integration. Like I'm in a partnership of like 4 years, and every day we practice looking at ourselves and each other and what's coming up, what truth is there. And the truth is not always sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. But the alternative is I show that hard truth, because the alternative is being miserable in the corner, tight, resentful. And to me, that feels a lot worse. I feel like my life is depleted, going inwards, spiraling down, instead of the inverse, spiraling up, ascending, growing, expanding, walking that path, that healing path that we talked about earlier. That doesn't happen when I hold on. Whew, this is nice. Oh, someone said, save the live, and I'm at work and getting pieces. Yes.
Coach Rax, I got you, Rocky.
Yes. And we have more. It's the hurt we adults have experienced that holds us back. Yes. Because we haven't processed that hurt. That's why. Right? Remember when I was saying about the land, looking forward and looking at the land instead of looking at ourselves? That's all of that. Like, we can't be looking at everyone else and everything else. We have to continuously be looking at ourselves and saying, what am I holding on to? What needs love? What needs healing? And then that's where we bring our attention towards.
Yes. And like you said, it's not always going to be a walk in the park. Like, even with relationships, as an example, the relationships between children and parents. As parents, we cannot just be like, oh, you pissed me off, I'm done, I'm walking out of your life. No, honey, we have to do the work. We have to like look at what happened, you know, try to find some resolution and move on and just, you know, thrive in a healthy way, and then let it go. I still love you with all my heart, my son. Like, you know, we're in this, like we're stuck, we're making this work. And in the best way possible. So
I love this example.
Yeah.
Because what you're speaking on is there's the commitment. And there's the commitment to showing up in love.
Yes.
Right? Like, even if there's challenge, even if there's friction, whatever it is, you can still face and show up to those moments with love at the center of it all. And I think that's like a tool that you have to practice. Because a lot of people think, oh, if it's conflict, that means I'm getting my guns up, I'm ready to like blow off, go off, You know, we even have the terminology to fit that. We think we're going to go off on someone. When really it's like, no, you can actually bring your truth, even if it's different than what that person has happened, and maybe it's challenging, but you can still show up with that and it be loving. You don't have to blow someone up. This is not your opponent. You know, we've been taught to think that we're opponents when someone thinks differently, and it's not that. If we can show up with an open heart, easier said than done, right? Takes practice, but there's room with that commitment to say, you know, that was challenging. You know, I'm hurt, but I don't have to blow you up. Maybe I might blow up, but I'm not trying to blow you up. Someone just said something, it's the negative malice and you're holding on to that is really blocking your blessings and love in other areas. Yes, exactly. And then you create more negative malice. You just keep, the cycle keeps going and going. And that's why people can experience the world differently, because it's like where you're coming from is negative and malice. So you're going to see everything with the eyeballs of negative and malice. You're going to look for that. So that is the difference. And Shirley said, yes, mindset is everything. Yeah. But I also want to add, your body, how you're showing up is also everything. Right? Because we could try to think and say, yeah, I'm going to come up with I'm going to show up in open heart and all those things. My mind's going to do it. But who's showing up in the relationship? Your heart. You, your body. And we don't practice that enough. We have the idea. It's a grand idea. But if it's not acted upon, it remains just that, an idea.
Exactly. That mind-body connection is so important. Your mind is the, what do they say? Your mind is the engine, your body's the boss or something like that. Yeah, your body, where your mind goes, your body will follow, basically. So, you know, make sure you carry your mind.
Yes.
Where your mind wants to, make sure you carry your body where your mind wants to go.
Where your mind goes, your energy flows.
Your energy flows, exactly.
And Shirley just corrected me. It's Shirley's son. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, that's a man.
This should be a podcast. Thanks, Reese. Yes, that would be great. I would love to do a podcast. I've been thinking about it.
Right?
I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about it. What things would you want to learn about, Reese? I'd like to know if it was a podcast. Because yeah, we're creating so much with this, and this process, as I said, is a practice. It's continuous. It's like it's a way of living, right? Like we can only think about it so far. We have to live it at some point. So I've been living this path my whole life, and that's why I'm dedicating my practice to teaching others to find this place within themselves, right? To create an environment where you can practice getting that mind-body connection, right? Showing up in your relationships the way that you're trying to shift your mindset to be, right? The mind can only take you so far, but it's the body usually that's the missing piece.
It's so true. So I want to ask you, you have created this amazing, emphasis on the amazing program to help people heal. Sorry, to help women heal. So can you please shed some light on this amazing program?
Yes, I will. I know, I just feel so good being here. And this program that I launched actually yesterday on my birthday has been a culmination of my life experiences that I'm wanting to create an environment for others wanting to walk this path of healing, right? Because we could do it. We can walk this path with or without support. And what I found in my experience is that I don't have the time to walk up and down, round and round, when there's someone that has walked the path similar as me that can just help me out. Teach me the tools and tips and the ways. So for me, this new program, it's called Your Missing Piece. And it's a 12-week program. We're going to be supporting success-oriented women because we all are here to do and create, right? We're all here to do this. But there is a healing path that we can feel healthy, wealthy, spiritually and physically along the way. So this 12-week journey, I'm going to be giving you tools so that you can connect to your body, your spirit, your heart, that openness, right? So that we can lay down the sword of the hard power, right? We all know what that's like, that hustle mentality, that getting there, that all of that stuff that leaves us in the corner resentful, so that we can start to actually allow our soft power to emerge, so that we can draw in opportunities, so that we can be that inviting environment that we enjoy to be in, so we can enjoy our lives, so that our partners can feel that enjoyment as well, so that our families can enjoy, and so that our future generations can thrive, you know, from that space of having true wealth, lived experience. So yeah, this is a 12-week program that I'm really, I feel like I'm, as you said, with like the land, coming into the land, creating this life, finding my space of openness. Because I wasn't always open. I was very closed. You know, I felt I had to protect myself, protect my image, protect my heart. But I found such fulfillment in learning how to open. And learning that I am still strong in my openness. And to me, it's just, this is what the world's needing now. Is we need women who believe in their soft power, their intuitive nature, right? Who can help rebuild the balance in the world that's missing, right? We're missing that life focus. Everything's about productivity, and we're missing the quality behind it, the quality of life. So yeah, the doors are open for the program, and we'll be putting the information. If any of you guys have been resonating with what you're hearing, what you've been feeling, I want to invite you to reach out to us, to send a DM, and I have a beautiful program package that you can see all the details from A to Z, right? I know our audience here, you guys are about that mindset, about that step from A to Z. So we have the A to Z write-up so that you can see it. But I want to invite you to also feel, what does it spark within your body? You know, what did it feel like to envision, like, oh, I'm finally going to open up in my relationships. You know, I'm finally going to find that unconditional love, that unconditional experience of wealth. I want you to feel into that as you read this package. And if it calls to you, I want you to come join and find your missing piece with us.
When I read over the program, I was blown away at just the intricacy, the care that you took to like explore, you know, each and every, just so many different components or areas rather. It was so well thought out. Like, yeah, I highly recommend anyone on this live at least send Tamina or myself a DM. At least look at the information, you know, just see, like, it's so worth it. Very, very well thought out. Very, very well done. And like, you know, they say, copy the right cat. If you see someone who has done something you want to do, or, you know, even just their way, the person that they are, if you admire them, you know, these are people that you need to learn from because they've done it. They've gone through the trenches. They've done the work. They know how to get there. And, you know, it can all be modeled. Like, even if it's in your own way, at least you have like the basics as to how to become the person you want to be or to achieve what you want to achieve. And, you know, Tamina, you've been someone I always say, like, ever since you were little, if there was something that you wanted, it wasn't if, It's just how can I do it? And it always came to manifest, always, every single time. So like, you're definitely the cat to copy. So inspirational.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I want to speak to that I will provide you the tools for you to find that version within yourself.
Exactly.
That inspiration to find that remembrance in yourself, your body. Because there is not a one size fit all at all. And there'll be some people that'll say, I will promise you this, I will heal you of that. I'm not going to be doing your healing. You're going to be showing up for your own healing. But here are the tools to point you in the direction, a possible direction. And I have lots of tools in my goodie box, and I love my tools. And one thing that I want to say is that, like, this is not like no classroom where you're going to be like just like on Zoom watching dryness. No, we're going to be dancing. We're going to be doing yoga. We're going to be doing sexual healing. Okay? Because I think the key thing a lot of times with this blockage with women is sexual trauma. So I've created call it a pussy meditation, pussy yoga, called Ignita, that I created. And it's so amazing. It's so easy. It's so simple. And it's not intimidating. You know, even if you're hearing the word pussy and you're like, ee, doing this practice, you'll be like, what took me so long? What took me so long? Right? So I just want to really share that, like, it's fun. Going in the trenches doesn't have to be all dry. It's juicy. So yeah, I wanted to say that.
So awesome. Some of the comments. No, Jamal, I'm not being sexist. Stop this.
Oh.
I know you're just joking.
Beautiful. Well, yeah, this has been so amazing. I know you're reading the comments, so you can keep reading. But I guess I just want to say that, yeah, I'm just looking forward to this journey. I'm so looking forward to it. And if you're feeling the call, just send me a DM, and we'll talk about the next steps. I'll send you the program package, and we can go from there.
So I'm gonna put your Instagram in the comments. It's there. How do I pin this one? Yeah, so that is her Instagram, everyone. If you want to send her a DM, or you can send myself a DM, and you know, either one of us will get that information to you. Let's do the work. Let's heal. Let's clear those blockages. Let's, you know, do the things that we want to do in life. Let's do it. We all deserve it.
Yes. And our future generations deserve it too. They deserve that clarity, that opportunity.
Definitely.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on. This was amazing. I'm definitely going to save this. This was so good.
Yeah. I love it. Maybe we'll do another one. Oh, wait, we are doing another one on Monday. Ooh. So you want to drop the information, or do you want me to?
Yeah, I can drop it. So we're going to be on Clubhouse on Monday. We'll post details. We're still, we just have to do like a little banner and whatnot. So we're going to be talking about breaking generational curses. Yes. And our mother is going to be in on the discussion. And that's going to be on Clubhouse on Monday evening. So
6 p.m. EST.
6 p.m. EST. Yes, yes.
Yes. So looking forward to this conversation and having her mom on board. It's been, such a healing. Even being able to have these conversations is healing in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
In and of itself. All right. Well, then I hope to see you guys there on Clubhouse Monday.
Right? For those who have iPhone, yes.
Yes. All right.
Sorry, that was a call. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so, so much, Nini. I'm so glad that you wanted to do this, and I'm just so proud of you.
Thank you. It's been so nice to be able to share this kind of space together and having our perspectives come together and hopefully serve, those that, are listening and tuning in. So I would love to even hear from you guys, like in the comments after you're watching this, either live or on the replay. Like, what did you receive from this conversation? Like, what's the biggest message that you're left with after hearing us share this perspective on healing your way to wealth? Yeah, I look forward to reading it in the future. Mm-hmm. All right, signing off.
Until next time, Nini, love you and have an amazing day.
See you, everybody. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.